Today, we are diving into a powerful psychological force that might just be the secret architect of your entire life. It's called the Pygmalion Effect. So think about your biggest wins for a second. That promotion you got, those great grades, a personal best you finally hit. You probably chalk it all up to your own hard work and talent, right? And you're not wrong. But what if that's only half the story? I know it sounds a little bit like science fiction, but it's a profound psychological reality. The beliefs that other people have about you, often beliefs they don't even know they have, can become this powerful force that either lifts you up or holds you way, way down. Now, this secret controller, this invisible influence, it has a name in psychology. We call it a self-fulfilling prophecy. So what is that exactly? Well, a self-fulfilling prophecy is basically when a false belief about you or someone else ends up triggering behaviors that make that very belief come true. It's this powerful loop that's running all the time, everywhere, from our classrooms to our boardrooms, and most of us never even notice it. And this very specific type of self-fulfilling prophecy has a pretty fascinating name, one that comes straight from an ancient Greek myth. It's called the Pygmalion Effect. To put it simply, we tend to rise to the level of others' expectations. When someone we respect, someone we look up to, believes we can achieve great things, it dramatically increases the odds that we actually will. It is an incredible tool for unlocking human potential. You know, the idea itself has this really rich history. It literally started as a myth. Pygmalion, this sculptor who fell in love with his statue and loved it so much it came to life. Then fast forward to 1948, and sociologist Robert Merton gives it a scientific name, the self-fulfilling prophecy. But the real bombshell was in 1968 with the Pygmalion in the Classroom study, which proved just how powerful this effect is in the real world. This famous line from George Bernard Shaw's play Pygmalion, you might know it better as the story that inspired the musical My Fair Lady, it just perfectly captures the whole idea. Our identity, what we think we're capable of, it's all profoundly shaped by how the world interacts with us. So how does this actually work? How does the way we treat someone literally change them? Well, it's not magic. It's a predictable four-step psychological loop that can turn a simple belief into a hard reality. Okay, so it all kicks off with someone else's belief about you. Let's say a manager thinks you're a rock star. They're going to give you the tougher, more interesting assignments. A teacher who expects you to do well will, without even thinking about it, give you more smiles, more eye contact, a more supportive tone of voice. These cues are tiny, often completely subconscious, but they are incredibly powerful. Next up, you pick up on all those signals. You become a kind of mirror, reflecting back the image that's being shown to you. Sociologists have a great name for this, the looking glass self. Basically, we figure out who we are based on how we think others see us. So if the world is treating you like you're capable and smart, you start to believe it yourself. And once that belief gets inside your head, it becomes a massive motivator. Your self-confidence, your belief that you can actually succeed, it shoots up. You start taking on bigger challenges, you stick with problems longer, you put in more effort, all because you truly believe it's going to pay off. And here's the final step that locks it all in. Your new behavior gets better results. You crush that test, you nail that big project, which in turn proves to the other person that their original high expectation was right all along. Their belief is confirmed, and the positive cycle starts all over again. But this time, it's even stronger. But, and this is a big but, this loop works both ways. When expectations are high, we get the positive Pygmalion effect. But when expectations are low, we get its destructive twin, the Gollum effect. This is where low expectations from a boss or a teacher lead to worse performance, which then just reinforces those negative beliefs, creating this awful downward spiral. It's truly two sides of the very same coin. So understanding this power, the power to either lift people up or push them down, is everything. The real question is, how do we consciously use this for good? How can we start engineering success for ourselves and for the people around us? Look, if you're a manager, a teacher, a parent, you are a Pygmalion, whether you like it or not. The key is to be a positive one. You have to actively communicate your belief in people's potential. And don't just give out praise. Give what's called wise feedback. That means framing criticism by saying something like, I'm giving you these notes because I have very high standards and I know that you can reach them. That one sentence changes everything. So what about for yourself? You have a ton of power here too. First, you've got to curate your social circle. Surround yourself with people who hold you to a high standard because they genuinely believe you can meet it. Second, start noticing those subtle cues we've been talking about. And finally, you can activate what's known as the Galatea effect, named for Pygmalion's statue, by raising your own self-expectations. Because at the end of the day, your belief in yourself is the most powerful expectation of all. The expectations that surround us aren't just idle thoughts. They are the invisible architects of our reality. So the question I want to leave you with is this: who is your Pygmalion? And maybe even more importantly, who are you a Pygmalion for? Because the power to shape a life is right there, in your hands.